So you bought a house a few years ago, maybe a lot of years ago, and it's worth more money, and you are excited about maybe going to buy the next house. Or maybe you just don't like the neighborhood you're living in, you got transferred out of state. Maybe you want to get away from that crappy neighbor, whatever it is. For some reason, you want to buy another house, and you've got to sell the house you currently live in to do it. So this is the catch-22 of real estate: how to buy and sell a house at the same time, how to make sure that you don't get stuck with two houses. You buy one before you get yours sold. Now you got two houses, you only need one. Or how to not end up homeless. You sell your house before you find a house you love, and now you've got nowhere to go. So I want to walk you through step by step all the things to do and not to do to make sure this goes as smooth as possible. And at the very end of the video, I've got a secret little tip that we've developed to make this absolutely seamless. It's a fantastic way to navigate these waters really smoothly. My name is John Gletch. I am the team leader of the Gletch Group. We have sold thousands of houses in Phoenix and do this dozens and dozens of times every year. This is not uncommon. We do this very regularly, help people buy and sell at the same time. So I'm going to walk you through step by step navigating these waters. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like this video, do us a favor, get us a little love there, and help us to keep making these amazing videos. So let me get started with this. This is the first step. Find out if there's something that you like that you can buy. So it's you want to make sure that what you want exists. It's not super uncommon for us to have a situation where someone wants to, they want to move, but they haven't really done the research to figure out, like, hey, is there something like that I like better than I live in now? Some people have a very clear, easy, like, I've got to move. Like, I got transferred, whatever. We're having a new baby. They have a for sure reason they've got to move. Okay, that's one scenario. But someone who just kind of wants to move, like, make sure you look around. Make sure that what you think you can buy, you can buy. Prices have probably gone up since you bought your house. So take a look on the market, see what's available online. Make sure there's a house that fits your criteria. We can certainly help with that. Set up a custom search fit to your specific criteria to make sure that what you want actually exists. So that's step one. Step two then is, once you've figured out, hey, okay, there's a house I want. Like, what I want isn't some mythical unicorn. There is a path forward for me in selling my house and buying another one. What you want to do is avoid a couple different traps. The first trap is that you end up with two houses. So one way to avoid that is by moving twice, right? You can just sell your house and go move in somewhere else, right? So list your house, list it for sale, get it marketed, all that stuff. And then once you've got the house sold, you can, do a couple different things. You can rent an Airbnb. So short-term rental, depending on the time of year in Arizona, that might cost you a fortune if it's March, right? But if you're kind of doing this over the summer, maybe it's pretty cheap because nobody wants to come to Arizona in the summer. So those are pretty cheap properties. There's also short-term rentals, or you can find landlords who are willing to do a month-to-month lease. That's not super uncommon. That's something we can certainly help you find as well. You can also just move in with grandma or mom or whoever. For as long as you can endure that, you can move in with some relatives, family, whatever it is, something that will fit your needs while you're going out and then finding that other house. So moving twice, that's kind of the first way to get out of this problem. The second way to do it is to sell first, right? So list your house, and you're going to be out looking for properties that you want, properties that you like while you've got your house for sale. But let's just say the first thing that happens is you get an offer on your house. This happens like before you found the house of your dreams, right? And you don't want to move twice. So here is what we would do to help accomplish that. A couple different options. One is a long close. So right now it's a seller's market, and so it depends. That's of course going to change over time, but it's not that hard as a seller to say to the buyer, hey, I'm excited to sell you the house. It's going to be great, but I need to close in like 2 months or 3 months, whatever. You can push this out, within reason. I would say generally speaking, 2 to 3 months, about as long as most buyers are willing to wait to get into a house. It's going to be market dependent, but we can just write that right into the contract. Hey, we're not going to close for a couple months. That gives you enough time to go out and find that house that you love and buy that sucker while your house is pending and ready to go. You got a buyer ready to go and close on that house. The second thing is a lease back. So what we can do is we can say, okay, we're going to close in like a month or whatever, 45 days. We're going to have this buyer actually buy your house and then do a lease back. So they're going to own the house, but they're going to lease it to you for however long it takes. We can negotiate that as part of the contract, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. And that allows you to stay in the property, not have to move twice, but you've got the money, you've got a secure buyer, the deal is a good deal, and it's all closed while you go out and find that other property. So those are a couple different ways, and there's some nuance there and other different things you can do to kind of fancy that up. But generally speaking, that's what we would do if you ended up selling your house first or got an offer first to sell your house. Now, what if you find the house you love before you've got your house sold? So a couple different ways to do that. So let's say you've got your house listed, it's on the market, but we haven't found that buyer yet to buy your house. But you find the house you love over on Main Street. What we would do is kind of the inverse, right? We would say, as the buyer, for you, we'd say, hey, Mr. Seller, we want to buy your house, but we need a long close because we haven't sold our house yet. Maybe it's going to take a month or two, but we want to buy your house. So let's tie this up with a long close. So we tell the buyer, hey, we want to take a couple months to close on your house. That gives you enough time to get your house sold. And one thing to keep in mind if you do this is kind of like, well, what happens if I get a 2-month close or a 3-month close on this house I want to buy, but I still don't sell my house? Any purchase offer you write is going to be contingent on the sale of your home. So right there in the contract, it's going to say, hey, listen, if I can't sell my house, then I'm able to cancel my purchase with you and move along, and we all kind of part as friends, right? So that's going to be in there. You don't have to worry about a situation where now you've got to buy this house and you can't, that's obviously not going to work out. So we're going to put a contingency in there. Now, this makes your offer less attractive, right? Most sellers don't want that. They want a clean, ready to go buyer. And so this is a difficult proposition, especially when it's a seller's market. So that can be challenging, but it can be done. And there's no need to fear or worry about that. So here's the thing. Which option you choose could be dependent on the market. Right now, it's a seller's market, like super, super hot, easy to sell a house. If you price it right, no problem. We'll get that thing sold quick. Because it's a seller's market, you have all the leverage as a seller. So you're in a better spot if you sell your house first in a seller's market, because then we can negotiate like this crazy, like tight contract for you where we say, hey, Mr. Buyer, we need you to wait 3 months to buy the house, or we want to lease back. We got all the power as the seller, so we can ask the buyer to jump through a bunch of hoops to facilitate you going out and finding the house you love. Going to be much harder in a seller's market to go out and buy first because you don't have any leverage on the buy because you haven't sold your house yet. So you want to make sure you work with an agent who understands what the market is. If it was a buyer's market, it'd be a different situation where you'd have a lot more power as the buyer to negotiate better terms for yourself as a buyer, not worry so much on the sales side. So be aware and make sure your agent's aware of what kind of market you happen to be dealing with. And here's the thing, this is easy to screw up. Make sure you get a good agent. Make sure you've got someone who's done this like lots and lots of times, because if you screw the contract up, you end up probably losing your earnest money. And that's going to be, thousands of dollars that you, for no good reason, have to lose. So make sure you've got someone who's done a bunch of these, who's written a lot of contracts this way and can tighten it up. The other thing to keep in mind on these transactions is that they're hard. Make sure you pick someone's experienced because you got a lot of things to negotiate here. It's potential that you've got a buyer who's buying your house who also has a house to sell. You're selling your house and you're trying to buy a house. Now you're dealing with 3-4 different transactions. This is not simple and it's not easy to negotiate. It requires some skill and some salesmanship to make sure that everyone in the transaction is happy and everything's moving along, and we can convince the seller of some other house to take your offer when your offer is contingent on a buyer who's also got a house to sell. Like, there's a lot of math to be done, a lot of research to be conducted to make sure that this deal can actually happen. So again, be sure you choose someone who's experienced, who's done a bunch of these if you're going to do this at the same time. Now, I promised you a little secret here at the end, and something that might make this even smoother, and that is our guaranteed sale program. So a lot of our marketing, you'll see this claim we make, hey, your home sold guaranteed or we'll buy it. Part of what we do there is we often can make a cash offer on your house right from the get-go, whether it's we buy houses every year or we have investors who do. And we probably do this like 20, 30 times a year. This is not an insignificant number of deals. Of course, it doesn't apply to every single house, and we have to figure out price and terms and close date and all that stuff. But as indicated by the fact that we do a lot of these every year, we are super reasonable. We have investors who are super reasonable and can often buy your house cash on the spot, ready to rock. You can close anytime you want. These are investors. We're doing whatever it is with the house, renting it out or doing different things. So there's no huge hurry for you to move. Now you can take all the time in the world to go out and find the house that you really like and you're excited about. And it makes things really, really smooth. Again, it doesn't work for everybody, but it is a great solution. And we do a bunch of these every single year. So be sure if this is something that interests you, you let us know. We can see if we have someone who might be able to purchase your house cash. And here's the thing. These aren't like super lowball offers. Very common that these are very close to market price, or every once in a while, it's for whatever reason, there happens to be a specific person who's really looking for your specific house and something like that. So we can get you an above market offer. That happens from time to time. So these aren't lowball, weird, crazy offers. This is a fantastic solution that can very, very much help. And even if for whatever reason we can't buy or one of our investors can't buy your house, one of the things we can do is market your house in this same way. So we have this marketing program where we'll put on all the marketing for your house. Buy this home, we'll buy yours, right? So we want to advertise to anybody who's interested in buying your house that we may be able to buy their house. And now what that does is open up the field to lots more buyers. It gets us a lot more phone calls. It's a fantastic marketing program that gets more attention on your house. If you're looking at two different houses, like you're a buyer, let's say, and one house is offering to buy yours and the other one is not, you're obviously going to be more interested in the one that's offering to buy yours. So you're at least going to make the phone call. And that's what we've experienced is we get a lot of traffic, a lot of phone calls, different things on our listings because we're marketing that we will buy somebody else's house and if they will buy yours. So it's a great program and worth checking out. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Hope that helps today, give you a framework for how to buy and sell a house in Arizona at the same time. Again, John Gletcher, the Gletcher Group, we would love to help you out. Check out our website, gletchergroup.com, and shoot us a message if we can come on out and take a look at your house and see if we can help you make your next move. Thanks so much.